I strongly believe there is really no need to give your money to a quote professional and have them invest for you. If you use tools like ChatGPT or what I'm going to show you, I use Google Gemini to learn how to write a prompt and use those chatbots to help you become more profitable traders. So for me specifically today, I'm going to show you just real basic, just something real quick, how I've been using the new Gemini, um, and how I've been using it to not only identify momentum in some of the individual stocks that I'm picking, but also enter the trades better and have an exit plan as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen. All right. And put my little face up for you guys. Cool. All right. Let's get into it. But first, before we get into it, I like to go over just how the overall market was moving today. Now, last week we had a nice like 3-4 day rally, but unfortunately, this Monday to start the month of December, we got kicked back a little bit. So I like to go over the three scoreboards, what I call them, at the beginning of every episode or every video, and that's the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow. Those are our scoreboards. It's going to tell us exactly how the market is moving overall. S&P 500 was down 0.5%. The Qs were down basically 30%. Nvidia helped it not fall as much as S&P 500, and then the Dow was down almost 1% for the day. Now, I'm not really going to get into specifics or individual stocks today, but I did want to highlight NVIDIA. They have a partnership with a company called Synopsys, and the CEO of Synopsys and Rockstar CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, was on CNBC this morning and really talked about this partnership. So I highly suggest you guys just go to CNBC and see exactly what the two gentlemen were talking about. Jim Cramer actually interviewed them this morning. Also, a company I just want to highlight because I've been banging the table on it is DraftKings. They're up 13% the past 5 days. Past month, they are up just shy of 11%. And year to date, they're down just under 9% year to date. My bold prediction was about last week is I believe DraftKings is going to finish positive for the year, and this momentum that looks like that we have right now is going to continue going higher. There is a little resistance around $38 a share, but definitely check out my videos if you're someone who likes the sports betting industry or understands it. Definitely check out some of my previous videos, and I think this is a great opportunity. It's one of my picks, not one of my core picks for 2026, but definitely a company I want to hold throughout 2026. I think this has a lot of good things heading its way, and I think a lot of people really don't understand this business, and the shares have been under pressure this year, but I believe there's a lot of positive momentum coming for DraftKings stock. All right, so let's get into what you guys came for. We're going to go to Google Chrome, and you can download Google Gemini on your iPhone or your Android device. I'm just going to use it on my Mac, my desktop. But first, make sure you like this video, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this video as well. Now, I've been talking to Gemini and putting in prompts, and it really understands me for the most part what I'm aiming to do in trading. I'm not going to read the whole prompt because it's pretty long, but I'm just going to give you the main points and what I'm using Google Gemini for. Now, you might see there are options, I think it might come up initially as fast, and that's going to give you a quick answer. But what I've been using it for is just thinking with Gemini 3 Pro. And remember, Gemini just rolled out this update. So definitely use that. And instead of the fast option, use the thinking option. And I know me personally, I'm on the edge, but I think I'm probably going to pray for this service because I'm pretty much using this every single day. I don't really mess with ChatGPT. I do have the ChatGPT desktop atlas down here, but I might just get rid of that thing. I love Google. I have it on my phone. It's my, I think they call it action button on iPhone. It comes right up, and that's what I use. And I speak to Gemini just like a conversation you would with a family member or a friend, whatever the case may be. So I'm using it on a daily basis, and I suggest you guys. And I'm not paid to talk about Google Gemini or anything like that. I've used ChatGPT before, but just me personally, I enjoy using Gemini more than anything else. I haven't really dove into any other ones outside of ChatGPT and Gemini, but I prefer Gemini right now. So the prompt that I put in, and like I said, mind you, I've had multiple conversations, so it has a good understanding of what I'm looking for on top of this prompt. But I said, help me with technical analysis. Now, for me personally, I'm a fundamental investor, but I wanted to get better at understanding the charts. But the last thing I want to do is sit there and memorize charts and these patterns and stuff. I don't have time for that. I have no desire to do that. So that's why I'm going to use this chatbot to help me identify certain patterns and things to let me know when there's momentum in a stock and not to enter too early. Now, before my kind of like my thesis or my plan was, all right, if a stock shares or itself are down 20%, that typically means that the options are going to be at a discount. And if it's a company I like fundamentally, then I kind of got into trades. Now it happens that strategy has worked for me, but there's been plenty of times that I'm just sitting in it, a company, and it's really not taking off, and I'm just sitting. Now I buy leap options, so I have time on my options contracts, and this is really what I'm using this for, is more so options rather than long-term investing. Because if something's down 20% fundamentally, I feel like it's a strong company, I'm just going to dive in and I'm going to have the patience. That's the long-term investing. But as far as options really about momentum. The last thing you want to do is get into an option and it's sitting, if you have you get into a contract and expires 6 months out. Last thing I want is to get into the contract and it doesn't do anything for 3 months. Like I could have used that money someplace else to get in out of a play rather than just my money just sitting. So that's what I'm really using it for, is for options and identifying momentum. Like I said, I was alluding to, there's a lot of times I would jump in a trade and I would jump in and it would just consolidate or it would just fall lower. Last thing I want to do is catch a falling knife. So that's primarily what I use this for leap options. I'm not a day trader. So if you're a day trader, maybe play around with this and maybe you can find something that works for you. But I'm just going to show you for this case, this is for leap options. I'm holding them for 6 months plus. But I said, help me with technical analysis. I don't have the desire to memorize candle patterns, but I want to easily identify supply and demand zones. I'm an options trader and I prefer leap options over day trading or scalping. Okay, like I said, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's more into it, but that's get the gist of it. And within my community, All In Society, which is a free community on Patreon. But if you want to join and see my trades in real time, it's $10 per month. I said I wanted to get into or potentially look at gold as a option trade for us to get into and kind of play it for 2026. All right, so I'm going to put down here in Gemini. Remember, I wanted thinking. I'm going to say run our indicators for gold, GLD. Okay, it's going to come all the way down here. As you see, I've been messing around with this thing on a daily basis. And it takes no more than probably 30 seconds for it to spit out information for us. And hopefully we get some valuable information. And then we'll take a look at the charts to look at it as well. Now, the indicators that I'm really using now is the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. I'm looking at RSI and the MACD. Now, just started getting to MACD because of this prompt, and it said, hey, you should probably start focusing on this indicator to help you find momentum. So here we go. It's starting to kick it out for us. This is a high-risk extension play assess. The trend is perfect, but the engine is running too hot. Basically, what it's going to tell us is that the RSI is probably higher on the high end, rather than we maybe missed the train a little bit. We might be a little bit late to this because I did look at the RSI and it's in the high 60s. Typically, as far as RSI, we wanted to get it like a 50, 55 range. It says gold or GLD has a massive run hitting new highs. While the trend is powerful, the technical suggests it's currently overheated, kind of what we alluded to. Okay, and then says here's the checklist. Current price $389.57. The 50-day is 371, so we're above that 50-day moving average. So typically, I wouldn't wanted to jump in at no more than 375, or it says, excuse me, as the range is 371 to 379. So we're $10 over that high end of that range. Strong support says 200-day moving average is 318, so we're well above the 200-day. And I've noticed Gemini does not want me getting into, like I said, anything that is high RSI with the prompts that I put in. That's a no-no. And it really wants us to start jumping in right when it starts peaking over that 50-day SMA. And so right here, it has all the indicators right here. And I love this. It gets just a little green, 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 and then it says red. Okay, so long-term trend, it's above the 200-day SMA. Yes, green. The trend, is it above the 50-day? Yes, green. Applied volatility, that means the contract isn't overly expensive. They're reasonably priced. Implied volatility is below 50. It's hovering around 46, so it's on the high end, but still good. And the MACD, it is bullish. It turned green. And then, like I said, RSI, anything above 70 is probably aggressive. And it says right now the RSI is about 77, so overbought. Cool. So it says, it gives me the verdict. Again, it says wait for a cool down. So be patient. Great trend, but bad timing. So if we're going to trust this, we want all green lights. We don't want to jump in where there's something possibly red. Says the problem is the RSI of 77 is statistically extreme. It means buyers are exhausted. Okay. The risk, if you buy now, you're buying at the absolute peak of a short-term move. A pullback to the 50-day SMA, what we talked about, is highly likely to reset the RSI before the next leg up. So again, wait for a pullback. All right. Winning plan, do not chase. This is a vertical move. Let the price come to you. It says wait for RSI to cool down below 60, which we will. Entry zone, it gives me an entry zone between $380, $382. So you can run over to Yahoo Finance and put alerts in, or however you want to use it. If you use any of the charting tools, you probably put that in and it'll trigger it and let you know, hey, it's time to get in. And then the strategy, since implied volatility is low, once a pullback happens, you can buy straight, and it gives you a call exactly when to get into it based on all the parameters I gave it. Okay, so recommendations, do not execute. I will say sometimes there is times where it says, all right, yeah, all of the indicators aren't green, but if you must jump in, this is how I would do it. And so it doesn't just give you this black and white sometimes. Sometimes it gives you the gray and says, if you feel like you must jump in, if you want to get in a little bit early, you can try this out too. So I love this. I've done so far 3 trades using these indicators on Google Gemini and QQ. No, I didn't get into QQQ. I got into a SPY. That one's up just under 5%. Amazon is up 8%. And I want to say we used, and TSM. Because of today's pullback, it's down just under 6%, so nothing too crazy. So 2 out of 3 is pretty good. But obviously, there's going to be ebb and flows. There's going to be ups and downs in the market. Today was a down day in the market. But Mondays have been kind of so-so. So I think maybe throughout the rest of the week, hopefully we get green days, and that TSM call can go back into the green. So that's pretty much that. If you guys are, I will want to say, Gemini says it down here. Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. So always double check your work. One thing I did want to refute, it said the RSI was in the 70s. Here's the gold chart that we're looking at, and it says the RSI is 65. So maybe at the end of the day, or excuse me, maybe tomorrow, we come back and the RSI is higher based upon however the market fluctuated for gold. We can look at the chart in Yahoo Finance real quick to see exactly what happened. Yeah, gold was up just under 0.5% today. So again, it is still pretty high, so I would want to go against Gemini. I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback, wait for it to get to about 55 in this 56 range, and maybe then jump in. I like gold long term, so this is definitely a play I'll probably jump into. But just kind of, I just want to show you guys, you don't have to be, a finance guru. You don't have to be, you don't have to give your money to somebody and they charge you all these fees to manage your money. You can use these tools, and you can be just as strong as a trader and investor as the people that manage millions of dollars, billions of dollars. They're probably using these tools themselves as well. So if you have questions about something, go to Gemini, ask. Then maybe go to Google just to double check if whatever Gemini told you is correct. You don't want to just follow this blindly. But so far it's been working for me. Again, like I said, I would jump in trades, and I had my whole strategy of when I wanted to exit. But a lot of times I would close out trades way far from the peak. Okay. Some of these plays, here, I'll show you guys. Some of these plays, like the Amazon play, I think that was our most recent one. It gives you a full breakdown. Here we go. We'll go to the TSM. So we jumped in. It gave us a call, and I am giving you guys free game. It gave us a call, $300 call, and the expiration was in June 2026. It said if TSM shares fall 285, that is a hard stop. You should get out of the trade. That means the momentum has broke and it is likely to fall even more. But on the upside, it gives you your first target price if it's $311, and it gives you a Y. And then it says if you have multiple contracts, sell 30 to 40%. Then your next target, okay, sell another 30%. Then your third target, and then hold your final 30%. Let that thing run if it gets all the way to that third target. So it's given me a strategy from start to finish, and that is not something that I was really utilizing and really doing myself. And I more than likely won't leave a lot of money on the table with following these directions by Gemini and just watching how the companies move. So if you guys enjoyed this, please let me know. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share. Leave a comment. We would love to have you in the Patreon. The link will be in the description. I will see you guys in the next video.